especially for you. I wanna tell you I was feeling that.
Charlene's wedding was a neighbour's highlight and a career turning point. It allowed for Charlene to leave Ramsay Street and for Kylie to concentrate on her music. The catalyst for the next stage of Kylie's career was the new man in her life, Michael Hutchence.
Michael, when he started going out with Kylie, I couldn't actually believe it. I thought he was joking. But Michael was actually really, really good for Kylie.
I'd say that he must have learned a few things from her, but she came out of it as a woman. She came out of it as a much stronger character with a lot more ideas.
Michael Hutchence wrote Suicide Blonde for Kylie. He also pushed her to take control over her career and to take risks.
A lot of the change was to do with Michael because he encouraged me to do what I wanted to do. And it's almost like I was on the verge of taking that step and he helped me to take it.
I didn't notice that working with Kylie, because to be honest with you, I didn't really notice anything about her private life. On the day that she was due to arrive, I'd have to have a song ready. So at the time we were doing something like Better the Devil You Know, and she happened to be going out with Michael Hutchence. Well, we were growing up for her anyway in the music that we were making. You couldn't stay at I Should Be So Lucky. We knew that anyway.
Kylie was reinventing herself, surrounding herself with the best choreographers, stylists and video makers. Part of her makeover was to go from nice to naughty. Video director Paul Goldman oversaw her transformation.
I remember Kylie expressed the desire to make a video that was controversial, and she wanted to break with her image at the time, which was of this sweet, young, I guess still very much in the shadows of Neighbours in some way.
I would say Better the Devil You Know is... it always comes to mind first because it was a real turning point for me, and it was the first video, the first single cover where I actually handed the product to the record company and said, well, this is what I've put together, and it was almost, well, they didn't have much choice really. If they weren't happy with that, there was nothing else.
It made the front pages of English papers because there's scenes in there where she's seemingly naked in the arms of a black man. It wasn't the Kylie they knew. It was also the first video where she wore her famous hot pants. And it's kind of this bacchanalian video, which she had never done before. Yeah, it was an almighty turning point. Stock Aitken Waterman died when they saw it. I know. I got a phone call in the early hours of the morning telling me that I'd absolutely destroyed their baby.
Personally, I think she moved too quickly from girl next door to, raunchy sex goddess. And she never, ever needed to do that. Still doesn't. I mean, she's sexy just being herself, isn't she?
Kylie's next step to take control was to cut her ties with Stock Aitken and Waterman. But she needed the help of her Australian record company.
It sort of weakened my own position with Kylie, but I made a commitment to her that I'd get her out of that deal, and it took us a long time, and we did get her out of that deal.
Australian music export earnings doubled at the start of the 90s, driven largely by Kylie's growing success.
And all of a sudden, Kylie Minogue was selling out theatres. And this really began to really take its toll on people. A lot of the real knockers had to shut up.
Kylie was developing a keen business sense. The backing band for her 1990 tour was recruited from among Michael Hutchence' friends, including James Freud.
At the end of the tour, we got our tour bonuses. That was in Bangkok, and the manager came up and he said, Kylie couldn't make it to the end of tour party. He said, there you go. Kylie said, have a drink on her. I was like, wow, $100. Well, thanks. I mean, my roadie on that tour, he worked for Sting. And at the end of the Synchronicity tour, or one of them, Sting came up and gave him a brown paper bag and said, there you go, mate, thanks for everything. And it was $10,000 US cash, Even Ivor Davies gives good tour bonuses.